What is up, everybody? Back with another video. Today, I am going to be talking about how good really was Justin Herbert's rookie season. A lot of these things are extremely interesting. There's one big fact in here that you guys are going to be pretty blown away by, in my opinion. But let's get right into this. Now let's bring in, some of these massive stats that you guys like to hear. His main numbers. In just 15 games this year, he put up 4,300 yards passing, 31 touchdowns, 10 interceptions, one game off that full 16. If he would have played a full 16 games, the dude 100% would have had 4,500 passing yards. He finished 11th overall in QB value over some notable starters like Matthew Stafford and Lamar Jackson. But now I really want to break into a supporting cast because his supporting cast was not as good as you might think. The Chargers' offensive line, I kid you not, was ranked dead last in the NFL by the end of the season on the offensive line rankings. They're absolutely ferocious through this season. They couldn't protect him like they should have been. They got to add talent to that offensive line. Like, can you imagine how good Justin Herbert would have been if he would have just had, like, an average offensive line, maybe, like, even, like, a Vikings offensive line? Like, that would have been absolutely phenomenal for him. His scrambling would have been a lot better. He was just getting constantly pressured, and he was making absolute dots like you just saw on the screen, where the blitz comes at him, but he makes a phenomenal, pass to a guy like Keenan Allen maybe. And again, right here, the pressure was just unbelievable on him, and he kept getting himself out of those situations. His receiving crew was led by Keenan Allen and Mike Williams. Keenan Allen, in my opinion, is an absolutely phenomenal wide receiver. Again, in this highlight, you see his offensive line is selling him, but he makes an absolute dot. That is incredible. Mike Williams is a nice receiver also. To head off his running back crew, he has Austin Eckler. Austin Eckler is an amazing catching running back who dealt with injuries this season that kept him sidelined for 6 games, unfortunately. He's a massive catching back and can run the ball. If he would have had him for a full season, again, his stats would have been increased tremendously. This is another whole weapon that he was missing for a while, and it was another reason why maybe this Chargers team didn't win a few more games. The Chargers defense had an above-average season, finishing 10th in yards allowed per game. That was actually pretty good. I actually really wasn't expecting to be that high, but they did have a good season when you look at those types of numbers, while the Chargers offense as a whole finished 19th in points per game. You really got to get that up, I guess you could say. I mean, next year, a realistic goal, I guess, for them could be maybe like top 12. I definitely think that's extremely doable as long as guys like Eckler and, Mike Williams and Keenan Allen are healthy, and assuming you add some more offensive line talent. Now, there's a massive list of records that Herbert broke. I'm only going to mention a few here because this video would be a lot longer if I had to talk about every single one of them. But the big one that I want to talk about right now is Herbert became the youngest quarterback in league history to throw for 30 touchdown passes in a single season. Herbert, who did it at 22 years and 299 days old, 299 days old, broke Lamar Jackson's record, who threw 30 in 22 years and 339 days old. So it was like a 40-day separation between the two of them. Lamar Jackson did it last year. Herbert breaks it this year. He also passed Carson Wentz's rookie record for 339 completions in a season. Not to mention the massive one that everybody's talking about. He broke the rookie passing touchdown record. He now holds it at 31. We'll see who breaks it next. Trevor Lawrence is probably the next up. I think he definitely could break it, but it's going to be a tough one to break. The road ahead now for Justin Herbert is so bright. If he really keeps up on pace and what he's projected to do, he could be a legit first ballot Hall of Famer. I know we just finished his rookie season, but I don't think that's too rough of a thing to say. Not too much of a hot take. I think that's a realistic thing you could definitely say about him. The Chargers' main goal has to be getting O-line talent around him. They have the 13th pick in this year's draft. I think that's a perfect spot for them to take an offensive lineman. You guys should watch my mock drafts. I've uploaded multiple mock drafts, and I think every single pick I've had them taking an offensive lineman. So that's like what they need, and it's a good value at 13. There's some great offensive linemen waiting for them at 13. I really doubt they don't take one, even if they have to go down the draft board a little bit to get one, because that's their need. Their defense is good. Their offense is really good other than their O-line, as long as they're healthy. So it's all about that O-line this year. I don't think the playoffs are too realistic for this Chargers team next year. They definitely have a good shot at making it, but I don't think it's like a playoffs or bust season. I think they're a young developing team. I think it's going to take time. My prediction right now is probably they're gonna be like a game out of it. I think they definitely improve to a 500 or a 9-7 like record, and then the year after that, I think they really get in some playoff spots, and they maybe soon could be competing with the Bills and Chiefs. I really think those two teams are gonna be the top two teams in the AFC for a while. Hey, Herbert is a phenomenal young QB. Who says he can't do it with them? But thank you guys so much for paying attention to this video and listening. I'm going to try to do more of these types of videos. I think I got another mock draft coming out soon in the near future. I love doing those mock drafts, and you guys really show a lot of support on those. So we're going to keep bringing those to the channel. I'm going to be probably putting out a bunch of college basketball content right before the Big Ten tournaments and all those massive conference tournaments start. I'll be putting out my predictions for those, and I'll be doing March Madness predictions. Of course, I'll be showing you guys my picks when that all comes up, but that's not for a while. NBA, I might be covering an NBA game on here also, where I show the highlights and my analysis. So if you guys are looking for that type of content, definitely make sure you subscribe, because I'm going to be trying to break that out consistently. But I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.